Hey there, curious minds, welcome back to Trivia Media. Today we've got something super exciting lined up for you. A compilation of the most mind-blowing trivia and cool facts from around the world. Get ready to be amazed, because these facts are going to challenge what you think you know, and leave you with some awesome new knowledge to share. From the wonders of nature to the marvels of science, we've got it all covered. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into these incredible facts that will make you the trivia champion among your friends. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and click the bell icon so you never miss out on more fascinating videos like this. Now let's get started. Wild ride. Did you know the Great Wall of China isn't just one giant wall? Nope. It's a combo of walls and fortifications stretching over 13,000 miles. Imagine walking that on your fitness tracker. Now here's a shocking one. Lightning doesn't just flirt with the Earth, it strikes about 100 times every second. That's 8.6 million times a day. Talk about nature's own light show. And here's a cosmic twist for you. Diamonds aren't just a girl's best friend, they're also space's shiny offspring, forming in the chaos of exploding stars and landing on Earth in meteorites. Lastly, let's get loud with history. The Krakatoa volcano's eruption in 1883 wasn't just a boom, it was the loudest sound ever recorded, heard from 3,000 miles away. Bet your earbuds can't top that. Did you know the world's oldest piece of chewing gum is over 9,000 years old? Bet your last bubble wasn't as historic as that. And speaking of time, every single minute a whopping 500 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube. That's a whole lot of cat videos. And probably a few dog ones too. While we're uploading videos, your brain is lighting up the place, generating about 25 watts of electricity. Yep, you're basically a walking light bulb. And here's a fizzy fact. Coca-Cola was originally green. Imagine sipping on that during your next lunch break. Did you know the average Joe or Jane spends 6 months waiting at red lights? That's right, half a year of your life just watching that little red dude telling you to stop. Now if you think that's a lot, get this. We spend about 5 years on social media. That's like watching paint dry on the Great Wall of China. Twice. And speaking of big numbers, Tokyo's population is more ginormous than the entire country of Canada. Imagine all those people and all the sushi. Oh, and here's a kicker. The first alarm clock could only ring at 4 a.m. No snooze, no choice. Talk about a rude awakening. Rainbows? We usually spot them as beautiful arches during a rainy day, right? But here's the kicker. Rainbows are actually full circles. Yep, we're only seeing the top half from the ground. Catch a flight or scale a high mountain and you might just see a full 360-degree rainbow. Mind-boggling, isn't it? Now let's talk time travel. Not in a DeLorean though. Did you know astronauts on the International Space Station age slightly slower than us Earthlings? Thanks to the quirks of time dilation and physics, they get a tiny bit more youth squeezed in. How's that for a sci-fi reality? And hold on, because here comes the Grand Canyon. Not just a feast for your eyes, but a mystery of nature. This massive landmark is so large it makes its own weather. One part could be sunny and warm, while another might be having a thunderstorm. Talk about having mood swings. Hold on to your seats as we launch into space with this cosmic tidbit. Astronauts can't burp in space. That's right, zero gravity means no burping allowed. Imagine that next time you sip on a soda. Moving back to Earth, let's talk about big names, and I mean really big. The longest place name in the world is, take a deep breath. Taumata wakatangi hanga kowa utamatiat urapuka kapiki manga horo nuku pokai wenu akitnatahu. Phew! Try saying that 5 times fast. Located in beautiful New Zealand, it's a hill that's definitely worth a visit, if only for the selfie with its sign. And for the grand finale, did you know that the inventor of the Frisbee was turned into a Frisbee after he died? Yep, Walter Morrison spun into eternity as a Frisbee, truly embodying the spirit of his invention. Now that's what I call flying high in the afterlife. Sunflowers aren't just pretty faces in the field. These sunny plants are nature's own cleanup crew. They suck up radioactive toxins from the soil like a botanical superhero. Talk about flower power, huh? Now let's talk about lightning. Imagine this. A single lightning bolt has enough juice to toast 100,000 slices of bread. Next time there's a storm, you might just crave some toast. And here's a fact that's closer to home. Your body. Did you know you're walking around with about 37.2 trillion cells? Each one of these tiny workers is bustling around, keeping you ticking. It's like a megacity in there. Single pencil can draw a line 35 miles long. Now that's a lot of doodling power. Imagine sketching your way from one city to another without lifting your pencil off the paper. Moving over to the chilly vibes of Iceland. This volcanic island isn't just cool because of its hot springs and auroras. Iceland is growing about 5 centimeters each year. Yep, it's stretching out on the mid-Atlantic ridge like it's doing morning yoga. And for the grand finale, let's talk ancient. The oldest known living tree is a bristlecone pine named Methuselah. At over 4,800 years old, this tree isn't just old, it's ancient. If trees could talk, Methuselah would probably never stop. Loves pizza. Imagine this. The world's largest pizza ever made stretched a whopping 131 feet in diameter and tipped the scales at over 51,000 pounds. That's enough pizza to feed a small town. Now let's talk about skyscrapers. Did you know they sway? Yeah, the tallest buildings can sway several feet in the wind to ensure they don't just snap like a twig. Mind swaying yet? And here's a soundbite for you. Some deserts can sing. Under the right conditions, sand dunes can produce eerie sounds that resemble singing or booming. This otherworldly phenomenon is known as singing sand. Last on our crazy fact tour, let's dive into the world of literature. In Search of Lost Time by Marcel Proust isn't just a long novel, it's the longest. Clocking in at over 4,000 pages and 1.2 million words, it's a true marathon. Did you know that the Statue of Liberty was more than just a pretty face? Yep, she started her career as a lighthouse. For 16 whole years from 1886 to 1902, she guided ships with her torch. Talk about a bright start. And speaking of bright, ever caught a double rainbow and felt like you hit the jackpot? That second rainbow isn't just a copycat, it's fainter and rocks a reverse color scheme. Nature's way of throwing a remix. Now let's time travel to Ethiopia. In 1960 they decided to roll with their own calendar, which is 8 years behind the Gregorian calendar. So if you're there, happy 2016. Talk about being fashionably late to the party, right? Leaning Tower of Pisa had a crooked start. That's right, it began tilting during construction back in the 12th century, all thanks to some seriously shifty soil. Next up, let's take a quick flight, literally. The world's shortest commercial flight is in Scotland, zipping between 2 islands in just 90 seconds. Blink and you'll miss it. Now let's shine a light on longevity. In a California fire station, there's a light bulb that's been glowing since 1901, over 120 years and still lighting up lives. And here's a river that's really going places. The Amazon isn't just a river, it's a powerhouse. Discharging more water than the next 7 largest rivers combined, it even tweaks the Atlantic Ocean over 100 miles away. The Library of Congress in Washington, D.C., not just any library, but the largest in the world. With over 170 million items like books, recordings, and manuscripts, it's like the superhero of libraries. Moving on to the Sahara Desert, think it's all heat and camels? Think again. When night falls, temperatures can plummet to freezing. That's right, the Sahara Desert might just need a winter coat. And here's one that's truly stellar: footprints on the moon. Thanks to no wind or water up there, these footprints could last for millions of years. It's the ultimate leave no trace. Except, well, for those footprints. Did you know that a day on Venus lasts longer than a year on Venus? Yeah, you heard that right. Venus takes about 243 Earth days to complete one rotation, but it only takes about 225 Earth days to orbit the sun. Talk about taking your sweet time. Now let's talk chocolate. And no, not about eating it, about spending it. Back in the day, the ancient Aztecs were so into cocoa beans, they literally used them as currency. Imagine buying your groceries with chocolate bars. And for the grand finale, let's scale Mount Everest, which is still growing. Thanks to those restless tectonic plates, it rises about 4 millimeters taller every year. That's like adding a smartphone every year to the top of the world. Ever notice the iconic Coca-Cola bottle? It's not just cool looking, it's designed to be recognized. Even if it's in pieces. Yep, if you find a shard, you'd still scream, "That's Coke!" Next, let's shoot for the moon with this lunar fact. Ever heard of the harvest moon? It's the full moon closest to the autumn equinox. Why the fancy name? It gave farmers extra moonlight to gather their crops during harvest. Talk about working late hours. Now hold on to your hats. Here comes a speedy fact. The world's first speeding ticket was issued in 1902. The speed demon? He was tearing down the street at a blistering 45 miles per hour. Can you imagine the horse and carriage traffic jam? And for our grand finale, every minute, 500 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube. That's like watching over 82 years of content every single day. Imagine being immortal. No, it's not a new sci-fi movie, it's the Turritopsis dorni jellyfish. This little critter can turn back time by reverting to its juvenile form after reaching maturity, making it biologically immortal. How's that for a life hack? Next, let's debunk a common misconception. When you think of deserts, you're probably picturing vast sands and scorching sun, right? Well, the world's largest desert will freeze you in your tracks. It's Antarctica. Yes, despite being a land of ice, it's dry enough to qualify as a desert. Mind equals sign blown. And here's a quirky one from the last frontier, Alaska. In Whittier, Alaska, social distancing takes a unique form. Nearly every resident lives in the same building, the Beagage Towers. Imagine having to go down to the lobby to borrow a cup of sugar from your neighbor. Ever heard of octopuses walking on 2 legs? Yep, they can do that to sneak up on prey. And get this, bananas are berries, but strawberries aren't. In Japan, there's a train that floats on magnets, zipping at over 300 mph. And did you know wombat poop is cube-shaped? These little creatures use their unique droppings to mark their territory without it rolling away. Yawning, it's not just because you didn't catch enough Z's last night. Science says yawning helps chill your brain out, literally cooling it down to boost alertness. So, next time you yawn in that boring meeting, just say you're getting brain-cooled for more focus. Moving on to goosebumps, those tiny bumps you get when you're cold or freaked out by a spooky movie scene. They're actually an ancient reflex, folks. Our furry ancestors used them to puff up their fur for insulation or to look scarier. Cool, right? And the tears from chopping onions? It's all about defense. Onions release a gas that turns into a mild acid when it hits our eyes. So it's the onion's last stand to make you sob while you slice. Wow, wasn't that amazing? We hope you enjoyed this journey through some of the coolest and most fascinating facts out there. If you learned something new today, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. We'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below with your favorite fact from this video or share a cool fact that you know. Let's keep the trivia fun going. Thanks for watching and stay curious. See you in the next video.